to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host, Suttles, and today we'll be talking about potential trades to help the Knicks get to the playoffs. Let's get it. New York Knicks. We're on a 2-game losing streak, just lost to the Clippers and the Bulls, and throughout those games, and it's kind of been more games throughout the season, that we can see if we can make a potential trade to help this team get to that next level, because we have some nice young pieces. RJ Barrett is coming into his own. He's only 20 years old, so I'm not ready to give up on him, but he is playing like a really good overall player that we need for this Knicks squad. Emmanuel Quickly is phenomenal. Rookie of the Year candidate. Don't care what nobody says. That's how good he's been playing. Obi Toppin, he needs to work himself more into the rotation, but I can see the positives from Obi. Julius Randle, he's still kind of young. People really don't understand that because he was in the league since he was, about 19 or something? But he's still young. And for this team, the way that he has transformed his game, he is a valuable piece. But we need a guy who can score 20 to 25 points consistently or more at a drop of a hat. And these are two guys. It's two guys that I'm really fond of and that I think that they can really change the dynamic of this squad, and I think that they'll fit in perfectly. But it just depends on exactly what we would have to give up. I'll give an example of what we probably would have to give up to get these two guys, but you got to understand that when it comes down to trade, you have to make sure that both sides get some type of positive. Like, it's not going to be a 2K type trade where you just trade a draft pick and you get like 5 players. Like, that's not going to happen. But the first guy is Zach Lavine. And we seen last night the Bulls and the Knicks are similar teams. They're on the same cusp of when it comes to talent. But when did that game really get away was when Zach Lavine started to go off. He is that guy who can drop 20, 25 at a drop of a hat and put in buckets, able to hit the mid-range, able to drive. He's able to hit the long range. He's an overall type scorer, very athletic. Coming to the Knicks, I see that he will fit in perfectly in that 2 spot where he can be able to stretch the floor. He'll be able to create his own shot, and he'll be able to put up the points that, RJ Barrett may lack at some point, where Quickly may lack at some point because he is a rookie. The most consistent person that we're getting scoring-wise is Julius Randle, but that's because he's been in the league for, a good amount of time. Zach Lavine, I can see fits in perfectly with the New York Knicks. Now to get Zach Lavine, that will be kind of difficult. I believe that you're going to have to at least give up one of our draft picks that we have. Preferably, I would want to give up our draft pick, not the Mavs draft pick, because the Mavs may actually end up being a lottery pick. So I would want to give up our draft pick and potentially a second rounder. Not this year's second rounder, but next year's second rounder, and throw in a couple of guys. Probably like Kevin Knox, Frank Ilinakina. To get Zach Lavine, because of his contract, it's not too unbearable. But for the way that the Bulls are going, they're trying to dump a lot of things so that they can get salary cap space. And when you trade the guys that really don't, really aren't getting paid that much money, it may just work out. Now, this is my favorite. The guy Bradley Beal from Washington. He fits in perfectly. He's everything that the Knicks need. He creates his own shot. He spreads the floor. He can drop buckets at any time. He plays defense. He's not a defensive stopper, but he plays defense, and he is also a playmaker. Now, he's been going on a scoring tangent. Like, he's been dropping 60, 40, 30, and it's been mind-blowing. But at the end of the day, I know that those kinds of numbers are just because he's on a porous team that really don't have any other scoring options. But if he comes to the Knicks, playing that 2 position, that is the consistency that we need. Because I know that I can throw the ball to Bradley Beal and he can create. I know that Bradley Beal can hit 3-pointers to spread the floor for RJ to be able to drive the lane, because RJ's not he's not a shooter. He's a scorer. So he's going to find a way to get to the free throw line, hit his shot. He's going to find a way to get to the rim and get an and one. The same thing with Julius Randle. He likes to play a lot of bully ball, but he's also very finesse. Manuel quickly, he's going to break down the defense, but he also can spread the floor. But you need that guy who's at that 2 position, who is a threat, because you will go through shooting woes at some point, a la with the Bulls, where we're only shooting 20%. You need that guy to be able to throw him the ball and be like, yo, we need you to create. We need you to drop some buckets. We need you to get us back in the flow. And Bradley Beal can be that guy. Now, to get Bradley Beal, this is the tricky part, because you also have to look at what the Washington situation is. They have Russell Westbrook. They may want to build around Russ. So you have to give them not a whole bunch of young prospects, because they already have kind of young prospects. What you're looking to give Washington is cap space, because when you give a team cap space who is eventually probably going to be picking in the lottery, they're going to be able to build their team the correct way. So for me, with the proposal for a trade for Bill, I would give up this year's first round, of course our pick, not the Mavs. I will potentially give up 2024 first round and probably 2023 second round with Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., and Reggie Bullock. Now, the second round draft pick, the 2023 second round draft pick, that doesn't really have to be thrown in there. But the reason why I'm giving up those 3 particular players helps out Washington. And Kevin Knox, he's a spot-up player. So with Russ, that's going to be damn good. Now, I'm not going to say he's a spot-up shooter, because his shot is not automatic, but he is a spot-up player. So he is going to be able to let Russ do what he does and also rack up those triple-doubles that he loves, a la with the assists. Dennis Smith Jr., he's going to be a valuable piece off the bench. He's a very athletic guard. But now, he did get sent down to the G League. I'm not sure if you can also bring him up and actually trade him. But at the end of the day, Dennis Smith Jr. is not that important in this deal. Reggie Bullock is one of the most important guys for this deal. Now, a lot of people are thinking, we're going to have to give up Obi, we're going to have to give up Mitch. No, we have to give up guys that their contracts are expiring. Reggie Bullock is only on a 1-year deal. So getting him, and he's also a defensive stopper, and he's a 3-point shooter. So that goes with what Russ likes to do. Russ likes to drive the ball. Russ is not an outside shooter. He likes to create. So Bullock would fit in perfectly and also be able to play defense with it. Now, why would they give up those small pieces, which the Knicks would think is small pieces, for Bradley Beal? Because Bradley Beal just signed a big contract. And what they're trying to do is free up cap space, because they need to be flexible. With Bradley Beal on that team and they're going nowhere, they're not flexible. So pass that over to the Knicks. We're able to take on that salary, and we're able to use Bradley Beal in the correct manner, opposed to just scoring 60 points and losing. Now, if they ask for Mitch, if they ask for Obi, I would not do it. They're not going to get any of the young stars, because at the end of the day, the Knicks need these young stars to grow. So if you want to make a trade for any of these, you're thinking more so of the bench players, and you're thinking more so of salary cap room for that opposing team that's collecting the Knicks players. And this has been a Subtle's Take for Easy 3 Sport Production. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Sharing is caring. Help the channel grow. Until next time, I'm out.